we obviously did a lot of things very well. The number one thing was the spirit that we played with. We made some adjustments yesterday in practice, watched some film, which wasn't very pretty after the Oklahoma game, and we really didn't do any kind of job at all defensively. And today was different. Today there was more pride, there was more spirit, as I mentioned. We had a lot of guys, play exceptionally well. I thought the key guy is Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon plays. We're a different basketball team, and it's pretty obvious. It's pretty plain to see that he and Tyrese really complement each other extremely well. And tonight there was a possibility we could go into the fourth. I talked to him with about 3 or 4 minutes to go in the third. He was at 25 minutes. And I said, hey, because we were pairing him up with Tatum. I said, if Tatum doesn't come back, how do you feel about going in the fourth? And Tatum comes to the table, and so there was no decision. So he finished out the third, and then that was going to be it. He was tremendous, and we obviously Oshae was fantastic tonight, both ends. Tyrese, his early shooting really helped set a tone. A lot of guys did a lot of very good things, and that stretch of a couple minutes in the fourth where we had to get Tyrese a rest, with Dwayne Washington out there at point, we actually made gained a little ground, which was a great compliment to that group.
You discussed the importance of pace pre-game against a team as good as Boston is defensively. How important was that, and what enabled a night where you're able to score 128 against a team like that?
Well, it's important, first of all, to be solid defensively. Now, we gave up 107, and really, other than the first quarter, our defense was really, really solid. They rose up and hit some shots. So they go 30, 25, 27, 25. I mean, that's damn good against this team, who's been playing as well as anybody in basketball, over the last 2.5, 3 weeks. And then, it was important for us to play with pace and move it and play randomly and play with an unselfish spirit to help each other get shots. Because you try to run stuff, their switching they can bury you with that stuff, put you up against the clock, and then you're isolating against big guys that can move their feet, and it's just it's no fun, and it ain't gonna work. So letting our guys play was a real key thing in the game tonight, and our guards did a good job of facilitating.
There were a couple times there in the third quarter, early fourth, when Boston started to have the makings perhaps of a run, but you were able to keep them from ever seriously threatening. What does that say to you that a team like Boston you're able to keep at minimum at an arm's length all evening? Yeah, and I just felt that our spirit and collective will and togetherness tonight carried the day. You look at a guy like Jalen Smith, and he was pretty quiet in the first half. He had the one lob dunk, but there were a couple opportunities he had to shoot, and he's a little hesitant. Miles Turner's in his ear on the bench saying, come on, bro, you're open, you got to shoot. You can shoot the ball. We came into a timeout one time, and I said, dude, you're shooting 43, 46% since you came over with us. You got to load up these shots. I mean, it's hard getting shots against Boston. You get an open one and take it. So it came the fourth quarter. The 2 or 3 that he hit were enormous shots over on that left sideline. So I thought those were the key shots in the game, and obviously a lot of other really good things had to happen.
I know you've been asked about the duo a lot recently, but with Haliburton and Brogdon, sometimes one of them, when they're off ball, is attacking against a bent defense or something like that. What do you kind of view as the key for those two guys to balance their own ball handling and success, and how they can both attack the defense at the same time? Just
play the game. We got into this 1 through 5 thing. I don't remember exactly when it happened in the 80s. When I was drafted in 84 and was in training camp in 84 and then made the team in 84, 85, there were not numbers. There was no 1 and 2 guard. I mean, we were guards, And our position was, on the floor, playing the game, And so there was more of a 3-4-5 thing with the bigs back in those days. But when it came to guard, and so with the game becoming more positionless in the last few years, people really should come off of this whole notion that somebody's definitely the one and somebody's definitely the two and then somebody's definitely getting offended by it. Really, that's just kind of a bullshit way of looking at it, to be honest. And so, we got two great basketball players that, played these two games with a tremendous spirit of togetherness and sharing the ball and playing to win. I mean, we're up one after the third quarter against Oklahoma, with Malcolm Brogdon playing. So it's pretty clear, with that when he's on the floor with Tyrese, a lot of good stuff's happening.
What do you think it says about where he is just health-wise to be able to play so well offensively and then draw the assignment of guarding a three-time All-Star in Jason Tatum?
Malcolm's a very unique player. He's our best perimeter defender, and he's probably our best defender on four men too, because he's strong. He gets up into him. He can block him out, and he can still go get the rebounds. He guards really 1 through 4, and he guards the 5 men on switches as well. And so having a guy with that kind of versatility defensively is really key in today's game. Offensively, the pressure he puts on the rim, is very underrated in this league. So, I mean, you saw it tonight. His strength, plus his ability to shoot the ball, it creates a balance that makes it very hard in a defense.
Rick, when you're looking back at the film from just every game now moving forward, from a macro perspective, what types of things are you evaluating with those guards and trying to figure out what you have and what combos work well and that type of thing?
We're doing exactly that. We're coaching to develop our team, to see what we have in some of these young guys that we're still familiarizing ourselves with. Guys like Jalen, guys like Isaiah Jackson, who's now gotten back healthy and is starting to play consistently. And I mean, you can see the ups and downs of the game, that he experiences, especially tonight, with guys like Williams out there and Tice is an experienced big, and Robert Williams, Grant Williams, both of these guys, really do some things at a very, very high level, So it was, so we're learning about all these guys, and even Chris, who's been with us all year, but now it's Chris with Tyrese and Malcolm, and then it's how do we fit in with Buddy, and how does Buddy fit in with us, and tonight I thought Buddy did a really great job of just being patient. He shoots the ball so well that when he goes for a long time without a shot, it's got to be frustrating because he feels like he can make every shot. And this is the attitude that a great shooter has. But tonight, headed into the game, we talked about the fact that his movement, his screening and blurring and stuff like that was going to create some real chaos for their defense, which was really going to help his teammates get shots. And I don't know the exact tally because I haven't watched the game yet, but I would guess that him just being out there and moving around and creating these situations created at least 6 or 7 really good looks at the basket for his teammates, and that's at the right times, that's the difference in the game.
And in terms of Oshae, what have you seen kind of maybe unlocked with him, or is he maybe the biggest benefactor of free-flowing, less two bigs necessarily in there since the trade? Because he's really flourished.
Yeah, he has, and tonight was a perfect kind of game for him. The number of minutes was the right amount. He's been playing up into the an overtime game the other night. The guy's playing 37, 38 minutes. It's a lot. And tonight, he gave us an incredible lift with his shooting. In transition, he gets out and gets 1 or 2 dunks a game. He's very underrated as a crasher and comes up with a couple or 3 possessions a game there. And, when there's loose balls and deflections and stuff, he's normally somewhere in the area, So this is a great opportunity for him. And as he experiences everything that's going on, he matures as a player, and he becomes one of the young veteran leader type guys in our locker room.
Late January, a really consistent effort tonight. You put up 128. To what do you attribute just the consistency and the excellence on the offensive end?
I think just the randomness we played with. We played very free, and Buddy gets knocked sometimes playing too random, like he's flying around in the wrong spot sometimes. But that randomness really helped us tonight. It got to the point where Rick was like, "I don't even want to draw anything up, just go play." You know what I'm saying? And him flying around, and it kind of just everybody kind of flowed through that, and I think he set the tone with us just moving, and that caused problems for them.
From a scoring perspective, you had a lot of success, especially early. Was that intentional? Was that just kind of taking what they were reading?
Yeah, intentional, 100% intentional. I guess a lot of people said I was too passive. I felt like I was too passive last game, so I just wanted to come out and set the tone early, and shots were falling, so I was feeling good.
2 games under your belt with Malcolm Brogdon now running alongside you. How do you feel like you two have fit together and played at the same time?
I feel like we fit well. He's getting in the paint, getting 2 feet in the paint very consistently, and I'm just moving off of that. He lets me, bring it up, and he knows I can facilitate very well, and he allows me to do that. But also there are times where, I think we're starting to learn each other. Like, I'm tired sometimes, so you bring it up. You know what I'm saying? Just that kind of just knowing each other, I think, is helping us a lot.
I asked Isaiah something similar last game, but he can, jump out of the gym. Have you ever played with a lob threat like that, and how much does that help someone like you who likes to facilitate?
Yeah, I guess in SAC with Rashawn was kind of my first time playing with a real lob threat, and Damian Jones off the bench and just some other guys. But Isaiah really flies, and I think he has the potential to be one of the biggest lob threats in this league. So just keep learning each other, and him learning how I like him to set screens, and we're playing against different coverages every night. So just keep learning the game, keep thinking the game the right way, and we're just getting closer, and that's helping.
Kings a couple weeks ago, you guys did not play as well against this Boston team. What did you sense is the biggest difference in the way you guys approached them tonight versus that game just a month ago?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. We got smacked in Boston last time. So Buddy talked about it before the game. Like, all right, we gotta get this one back. So it was important for us. But I think like I said, just the randomness in which we played with, and Malcolm did such a good job defensively, and a lot of guys stepped up defensively, frustrated Boston a little bit, and I think that helped.
Can you take us through the logo 3 and the shrug afterwards?
Yeah, I was just hoping Buddy gave me the ball. Sometimes he don't give me the ball in that situation, so I always tell him just give me the ball and make it. So, yeah, I was just feeling myself a little bit.
And then can you speak to just Oshae's? You talk about randomness. That probably lends itself to the way he plays with cutting and slashing, and then tonight knocking down some threes.
Yeah. I like we've been talking about, like, Shea's just learning how to be in the right place at the right time. It always feels like he is, whether it's the big offensive rebound, last game against OKC, or, just cutting, being in the right spots when, I'm jumping the pass or things like that. We're just all staying on him to be confident from 3. He struggled from 3 last game, but just step into it and shoot him because we need him to shoot the open ones. He's going to, make them more times than not. So just staying on him and him playing with this confidence is helping a lot.
I know you've talked about how important it is for you to become immersed with this community in Indiana basketball. So you give a shout-out to Ashlyn Shade from Noblesville. You won a state championship. Now she's won one. Were you watching that game? And maybe were you in person or watching on TV? And then can you explain just the feeling of winning a state championship?
Yeah, so I was watching on TV. I went to dinner with my nieces in town. So we went to dinner. I didn't even know that there was a state tournament going on. Nobody told me. So, it was the championship, and I didn't know. I saw the records, and so at first I was like, "Oh, I'm rolling with Franklin." That's how they played, right? Franklin, because they had one loss. We had one loss in my senior year, so I understood like probably everybody wants to see them lose. You know what I'm saying? Like I had that feeling in high school, but then I was like, "Yo, number 12 on the white team, she looked real. I didn't even know she was going to UConn or anything. There was no audio. She's making some buckets, and I Googled her. I was like, oh, okay, she's going to UConn. So she's really good though. She's really good. I love watching just any basketball. So shout out to her. She's the truth. She's good.
How do you feel about playing the same team kind of consecutive games like you guys started last year? Play in Orlando back-to-back games twice.
Yeah,
I think it's people kind of call it like a playoff sense in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like not feel, but just like in terms of adjustments and things like that. We're gonna play them tomorrow. They're gonna see us one way. We're gonna see them one way. And the next day, or the next time we play them, we're gonna make those adjustments, and they are as well. So that's kind of the game within the game. It makes it more fun, and I enjoy it. So
those 6 threes were a career high, specifically on the perimeter for you tonight. What was working?
Just being confident in myself. I felt like I was in the right positions to get going. Wasn't taking anything, wild or out of my element or out of my zone. Guys were moving the ball, and that's where it really started from. We weren't stagnant on offense. We weren't waiting for Malcolm or Ty or Buddy to get going downhill or something. We were all moving, which really caused a lot of confusion for them.
Oshae, there were a couple of texts throughout the game, got a little chippy. What do you think it says about this team to not back down and kind of put your foot down to get the win?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. We just want to win. And, we're going to do whatever we can to win. And I feel like we're going in the right direction of really wanting to play for each other. And, that comes from, not taking anything from anyone else. And, once we see teams start getting chirpy or talking a little bit, I feel like we're doing a better job of asserting our dominance or whatever and just, continue to be ourselves, but in the right way, not really getting out of hand and doing something that's going to cost us the game. But I feel like, we're doing a great job of staying together in those situations.
Rick talked about playing with randomness. Tyrese talked about playing with randomness. Is there like a difference between good randomness and bad randomness, and how do you find that line?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you never want to just run up into a guy when he's getting down to his move or getting into his bag a little bit. And I feel like we're doing a better job of getting to know each other's game offensively. And, once I see Ty or Buddy get going, I know exactly when to cut or stay in the corner or something like that. But it's those times where, we're not able to get downhill or not able to get open shots. We got to just keep moving and playing with that randomness that they're talking about.
Shay, how do you feel like the last couple of weeks, I mean, you've thrived seemingly since the change in style. How more comfortable do you feel, or what has that been for you?
It's been fun. It's been really fun. I love getting out in transition. I love running. I love, shooting open threes. And, I love playing with these guys. I feel like we all want to play for one another. We all want to help each other. And, I feel like we're playing with supreme confidence, everybody on the court. And, we're able to make that next step offensively. So, myself, I love the way we're going right now. We just got to keep pushing, got to keep winning some games.
What was it like to see Keelan on the other side, and did you have a chance to say anything to him? Yeah,
for sure. It's crazy. I'm really happy for him. Keelan's a pro in every aspect of the game, off court, on court, and he deserves it, man. So, I just hope he continues to get his chance with Boston or with anyone else in the league if he gets that chance for the rest of the season. But, he's a pro, and, he's going to be in the league starting next year for sure.
Jalen, what has enabled your three-point shot to fall at the rate that it has here since you've joined the Pacers?
Pretty much it's just game time reps. Back in Phoenix, my positional coach, Mark Bryant, always told me that I would always ask him, like, why my shot not falling? He would say, pretty much you just got to get game reps, and once you get those game time reps, then they'll fall. And being here, I'm getting a lot of opportunity just to get into the game and get into the flow, and just having my teammates and all the coaches encouraging me to shoot it. I mean, that's all I can ask for.
Rick called those couple of threes that you hit two of the biggest shots in the game. Can you just take us through what you saw in those moments and hitting those big shots?
Pretty much it was just shooting. The whole game, everybody was on me because I was giving up a lot of open threes I had. And rather than just shooting them, and they told me just continue to keep shooting, all the coaches and all the players. And pretty much at that point, it was just like, okay, y'all giving me the green light to let it fly. So if I see it open, I'm going to shoot it.
How often have you been given the green light, and what's that like to, I guess, find the balance between, all right, they told me to shoot, but not, obviously going too crazy?
Pretty much all the time. That's like one of our focuses here. Like if you have an open shot and you feel this is open, shoot it. And even if I don't have an open shot, everybody's still telling me to shoot it. So I mean, you take the advice and just go with it and run with it.
They're like a good problem to have. I don't know how many guys are being told to shoot more at the NBA level.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a great problem. If any time somebody's telling you to shoot the ball, and hey, you go with it. But like you said, you got to understand when to shoot it and when not to shoot it. And that's something that I always been able to judge. Like, if I feel as though my shot's not there and it's not a good shot, then I'm not going to shoot it.
Defensively, what do you think shifted from you all from the OKC game to this game and being able to really come together and shut down, one of the better tandems in the NBA?
Pretty much, I say it was the day after the game we watched film, on the OKC game. We saw how bad our shifts was and how bad our individual defense was. And the coaches got into us a little bit about it and told us that we pretty much got to focus on guarding our own man and pretty much having that cycle of help from our teammates. And it pretty much sparked a light in us just to guard ourselves individually. So, I mean, if you want to say that, it was just watching ourselves on films and seeing how bad we were in shifts and individual defenses is what helped us.
Now that you've played 2 games with Malcolm Brogdon, how much do you feel like he's helped you guys, and how much do you feel like he puts you in better positions to win every game?
It's amazing. I mean, I always watched Malcolm, even when he was with the Bucks. He's pretty much he's that glue guy that we needed. You know, like that veteran leadership on the floor, and just pretty much he creates a lot for us and creates a lot for himself. And just having him out there, it messes up the defense a lot more because now there's another threat that they have to worry about.